National Nutrition Natural Health Reviews. 3 minutes of the latest naturopathic info with Canada's leading nutrition experts. Watch, learn, and get healthy naturally.
Hi, I'm Naturopathic Doctor Jonathan Beatty, a health expert here at Nationalnutrition.ca. One thing I encounter in my office on a regular basis are intestinal parasites, or sometimes what we refer to as gastrointestinal parasites. Many people don't realize quite how common they can be. And the reason behind that is a parasite literally refers to any organism that is pathogenic and has sort of invaded your body. So it can be a parasite, could technically be a bacteria, it can be a fungus, it can be a yeast, or it can be a worm. And most people, of course, when we discuss parasites, right away their head goes to tapeworm. Yes, that is a type of parasite. There are actually many types of parasites that humans can be infected with. In fact, there's about 1,000 different species of worms that live on and in humans at all times. And some of them are very beneficial. So not all worms or not all bacteria are parasites. A parasite is literally defined by its sort of negative or pathogenic impact on the organism. So when we're talking parasites, we are expanding the idea beyond just worms. They can be bacteria, yeast, or the other. The real key there, though, is they're pathogenic. So depending on what type of parasite it is, it's going to create a negative impact on the person who has it. Typically, these are described by some level of intestinal upset, although not always. Some parasites, all they do is they're parasitic because they steal vital nutrients that we need. So if you have, an iron deficiency that you just can't seem to get rid of, a B12 deficiency that just seems to be ongoing all the time, there may be a parasite involved where that parasite is actually stealing those nutrients from you, preventing you the opportunity to absorb and then utilize the nutrients. Other symptoms that people may see are dermatitis. So sometimes parasites secrete toxic chemicals that then get absorbed into our system, and our body tries to excrete them out through the skin, and this can lead to skin inflammation. So there's a wide variety of different ways in which an intestinal parasite can manifest with symptoms. And of course, proper identification is key. Typically, this is done through a stool test, although just having one stool test done, if it rules it out, it's not enough to say that you don't have a parasite. Typically, I recommend that patients have a parasite test repeated 3 different times, as not every sample that a person gives to the lab may contain the parasite itself. Plus, parasites have varying life cycles. And so, you may find that the eggs that the people at the lab are looking for are only excreted at certain times, and therefore it's more effective to give multiple samples to look for the parasite to try and get proper identification. Then, once identified, that's how you select a treatment. If it's more bacterial in nature, I typically recommend herbs with berberine alkaloids. Things like golden seal or Oregon grape can be very effective. I often like using garlic, lots of oral garlic intake. Garlic's a very potent anti-parasitic. And then if you've got a yeast, you might consider things like caprylic acid to make your gut pH inhospitable towards the yeast, as well as using things like you could use colloidal silver, or you could use as well grapefruit seed extract. All of those things can be very good at eliminating yeast from the system. And lastly, if you do have a worm parasite, you may consider certain pharmaceuticals. Mebendazole is very effective against pathogenic worms. And there's a number of sort of what we call anti-helminthic herbs. Things like black walnut can be very effective, and actually combining these things with olive leaf and grape leaf, where you actually eat the leaves orally, because they contain chemicals that can stun the worms, causing them to become inactive, but then the fibers actually can grab on the worms so they can be eliminated. So all of these things are ways that you can manage your intestinal parasites. I hope you never have to experience one. That being said, they are a very common condition. Many people have them, and they're very difficult to diagnose. So, if you've got ongoing problems, even if you've had it ruled out once, ask your doctor about retesting, because you may find that testing at a later date now shows the parasite is present. So, I hope these tips will help you manage any type of parasite you may encounter in your life. Check out more of our natural health videos, subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, post them below. And as always, remember, knowledge is health.